There's still quite a few weeks to go before we get racing here in the UAE, but things are pretty busy here at Ain Racecourse, which I have to say is surprisingly cool for the time of year. There's several trainers now based here on the track, and one of them is Jean De Roualle, who's a man who's had terrific success in his career so far. He actually joined us here in the UAE back last November, just had the one winner, but this year I think he's going to make a real impact. So we've come along to meet him and find out some more. Having held a training licence since the early 1980s, Jean has trained more than 1,200 winners in 10 different countries worldwide. It's clear then that he brings plenty of experience to this new role training for His Highness Sheikh Mansour, and he's got plenty to say about it. Well, thanks very much for inviting us along today, Jean. It's great to see the place, and tell us how this has come about for you, because you've been here about a year. How did you find things?
Well, thanks to you for inviting me also as well. It's a pleasure. I've been here, arrived in November here, in October to Abu Dhabi, and so it was a great experience to come to Ain. You know, it's something totally different for me. I had to discover the whole place, new facilities. Have you seen beautiful facilities? We still got to improve the track and some stuff like that, but things have been done, so things are moving slowly, but moving. But they will be okay.
And last season, I think you only had a short time to get your horses ready. You had one winner. You must have been fairly happy with that?
Yeah, it's like I won the Ark, you know, in Abu Dhabi when I won. The horses arrived a bit late in November. The season was already on here, and coming from the French campaign, you know, a bit tight. So I had rather to give them a lot of time to make their coat and come back in good shape, you know. That was not there was no reason to push them, and I would go on the wall, you know. So we tried to fix some little problems with some of them, and now we're in good shape. So I hope for the best now.
And you look like you've got a really nice string to go to war with this season, about sort of 18 horses, and a couple of nice ones among them.
Well, my pick is Laura, of course. I have great expectation in this filly. I've been waiting 1 year with her almost. Now she looks good. I keep fingers crossed. She's working extremely well. She's not fit already, but we got 2 months. I want to go back on the Jebel Crown direct because unfortunately there is no prep race, so we will go for it. First time on the mile for this filly, but she got so much class that shouldn't be a problem. Now 1 year without any race, we have to be very modest. You know, this business is a school of humility. But I want to make a classic program, you know, with this filly because she's such a good mare.
And I suppose that's a great thing about training for Sheikh Mansour. You always get horses with lovely bloodlines, and you know, good horses are coming over from France.
Yeah, and you know, especially training for His Highness, it's something was meaning something extremely special, and working for a breeder for me is what I've been expecting all my life. You know, because you don't push them for nothing. You just want the mare to get a black type, as well as the colts, the stallions. So you work for the farm. You know, you work for the team. In fact, you know. You don't work for selling or whatever, so it's totally special. You know, the approach of training for a man like Sheikh Mansour is totally different. You know.
And what did you think when he said to you, you'll be training at Ain rather than Abu Dhabi? Because as you mentioned, things here are still really quite new.
Ain is the we say the berceau. That's where all the Al Nahyan family is coming from. So it means a lot for them to make Ain something special, making Group 1 horses here, building Group 1 horses here. So I understood that. I'll be honest with you, Abu Dhabi as a social life point of view, my friends over there, or Dubai, but that's not the point. I'm here to work. They accepted to work for His Highness. It was Ain, so I say okay for Ain, you know. So I discovered this place and I enjoy it.
And you've got everything you need here. You've got the track obviously very close. You've got a swimming pool, facilities.
Yeah,
okay.
we all got all facilities. We need to improve little things. But things are coming one after the other. You know, step by step, things are changing. So I'm optimistic about that. Yes.
And your career has been quite remarkable. Obviously, you started out in France. I think you were 28 years training at Chantilly. Is that right?
I started in '83, in fact. Yes, and I was before that assistant trainer to François Boutin, which was a fabulous experience. I worked in Kentucky before 2 years in Spendray Farm as a stallion manager. So I had a little experience in horses, but you know. I do that again. I say again, it's a school of humility, this job. One day you're there, the other day you're not. You have to learn, you have to be very modest in this thing. So I just do the way I've been doing all my life. I didn't change my way of training. I just adapt a few things here because of the climate or something like that. But basically I didn't change, you know. So it will work like that. And if you change, you lose your base. You don't know where you are anymore. So I'm not going to change now. I'm an old French trainer. I love to say that here.
The old French trainer. And during your time in France, I think 11 Group 1 winners, you told me. That's pretty amazing.
That was great. I had a great time, and I had good memories about all this. It's winning a Group 1, you feel just on the roof of the world. So it's that's why we're waking up early every morning. That's why we're doing this job. Always say to my wife, if one day I go to the track in the morning, I say, oh, it's boring, I don't want to see my horse anymore, I must quit, because I enjoy this, I enjoy competition. Here it's very different because you adapt yourself to a 5-month season, which is very short. You cannot say like I was used to, like, okay, give some time to this filly, to this colt, we can wait for the summer. No, here you got 5 months. If you're not ready for those 5 months, then game is over, So that's what I had to adapt, This is very, very different from what I've been doing before,
Yeah.
So I will try to do it this year, I hope.
I'm sure you'll manage it. And just looking back again at your time in France, I remember Satwa Queen very well. Would she be one of the best you trained?
As a number, she won 6 group races and 2 Group 1. And we traveled a lot with her in the Breeders' Cup, in Singapore, in Hong Kong. So that was great. We had great fun with her. Unfortunately, I didn't win in Nadel Shib at that time. But she stepped on a golf ball and she made a little stress fracture. But anyway, she was a champion filly. For me, a champion horse is a classic horse, which is a 3-year-old, to my opinion. So Carolina won the French Oaks, was maybe one of the best I had. I don't like to say one horse is better than the other one because it's not nice for the others,
Yeah.
So I had Gorilla, almost won the Breeders' Cup at 3, and she won a Group 1 in France as well. So those horses, basically for me, a classic horse is a 3-year-old. But of course, I enjoy Satwa Queen a lot because she was my darling horse, and winning races with her, traveling with her was a dream. Yeah.
And after you left France, you went over to Morocco. What was that like?
Well, Morocco, I tell you, they made a lot of progress. They had a lot to do. They were coming from many centuries behind. But the Sorek, the King Jockey Club, the Royal Jockey Club, they invested a lot of money and they're moving fast and they're learning fast, So they made a lot of changements, and you will see, I think, in the next 4 or 5 years, we will talk about Moroccan horses. You were in Korea last week. You saw, well, he was 5th, quite far, but that was the first time. That was a Moroccan horse. I used to train, so things are moving, So it's good.
When you were in Morocco, was that the first time you trained Arabians, or did you have them in France?
Yes.
And how was that conversion?
I'm going to be very honest with you. When they were running in France, I was not keen on Arabian horses, to be honest with you. Coming from thoroughbreds, we were a bit snobbish, you know that. And I discovered them in Morocco. I had a lovely horse called Janizam Mamoura, who won a Group 3 in France. He was 2nd in Newbury in a Group 1. Not well in Doncaster anyway. But he was a marvelous horse. He won 13 races. And I really loved this horse. And then I really had a new approach on Arabian horses now. You cannot treat them the same way or train them exactly the same way as thoroughbreds, of course, because they don't take the work the same way. They're different horses. But basically now I love them, honestly. Yeah.
They have a bit of character, don't they?
Oh, yes, but, but my wife as well, so I have to manage that, It's a teamwork,
Absolutely, and of course you've trained all these winners. I think you said more than 1,200 winners in your career, Group 1s in several countries. What's left to achieve? I guess a Group 1 here would be good?
Of course, yes, because that's what I'm here for. I hope that I will have the horses for, and they will bring me the horses for that, because, no horse, no trainer, no jockey, that. But of course, that will be an achievement for me. But at least making a good season, winning races, I need the horses to be there. I would like a lot of communication to explain this horse works like this. I want to try this race, because I like to talk. I like to explain to my owners why I'm doing this, why I'm trying to do that, and then how to explain the horse did this and that. I like this communication. I've been doing that all my life, so this is some improvement I need to make here. But this will come, time will come, I've been told to be extremely patient, which is not my first quality, to be honest, but I will be patient, and I hope I will do well. But once more, with a lot of humility. People here are winning races, they have been here before me, so I'm learning, I'm watching. I want them to adopt me, and I hope they will do, and I will do my job, as I always did,